Hello and welcome to season 4 of Extreme E. We are about to take you behind the scenes. We're here in Saudi Arabia for the Hydro X-Prix rounds 1 and 2.
That's huge.
We have got 3 drivers making their debuts, plenty to talk about.
I'm sweaty.
Oh, this is great.
Okay.
Oh, you look so gorgeous.
Why, thank you, sir. What advice do you have? I know you... Well,
No. The advice.
Not real advice.
I really think this track, you're lucky to come in this one.
Good.
Because it's not yet difficult. It's just if the ruts get big.
For me, there's 2 things that matter. 1, we get some points for Jimmy and Legacy. 2, we don't roll anything. And 3, we beat Matthias.
Cristina Gutierrez, Familia with chasing the RX-R. Oh, contact between them. Up the inside. Allard, side by side. It's going to be enough, surely. Gutierrez on a roll. McConnell's over on his side. Gutierrez takes the lead from RX-R.
She's on your inside. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing.
Yes, go on, go on.
Colin Kolinski, after an incredible battle with Gutierrez, she takes the win. It's 0.3 of a second between them at the line. 0.1. Woo!
Hello and welcome to season E.
Hansen up the inside, gets it done this time. Gutierrez leaves just a car's width.
Time to make the move, time to make the move.
Brilliant drive for the Andretti Autokilit team to take the lead. He moves up 2 positions.
Nice, Timmy, nice, well done.
We figured that out. All we have to do is tell Timmy to overtake. We've been missing that for 3.5 seasons.
Really well. I guess that's the one you're using.
Timmy, overtake. Okay.
Well, it's Fraser McConnell who leads at the moment. Fraz would love to pick up the win with Lyas, and so would Laya after the way the end of last season. This would be brilliant, brilliant redemption for both of them. Acciona Sainz get the win from Katie Munnings and Timmy Hansen. A brilliant performance by the Andretti Autokilit pair, who are very much back on form.
Let's go!
Sorry, couldn't see
That's so shaky.
Another race.
Yeah.
We're pushing it,
Well done, he's good. Come on, Carlos! Come on! Oh, that's so great to look back at the sun in the Hydro X-Prix. Did you know we're icons all over the screen, and you can find out more by hitting that QR code. But we have a ban on single-use plastics at race sites, and since season 1, we have saved 75,000 single-use water bottles.
We have these icons on your screen right now. The one on the left is about solar panels. That's all those panels lying down there on the grass. We've also got a hydrogen fuel cell down there, which is used to help charge the cars. The whole paddock is self-sufficient with its own eco power, if you like. And of course, next year we're going to see hydrogen power in the cars with Extreme H. So great stuff down in the paddock with all that technology.
And when we go racing, we race for all. This is a unique series that gets more people into racing, and if you see those pathways, you can be in the sport. Come and join us. It's for everyone, this sport. Extreme E is a race for all. Well, our second race of the morning is coming up, and RXR made it through to the final yesterday. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski alongside me, but unlucky. Just talk us through what happened there and what you've learned from that to take into another new day of racing.
Well, yeah, it was a good start, I'd say, and then, you know, I think I was heading into being P2 from the start, which felt good from that position, but then there was a bit of clash between me and Laya, which broke the rear right for us, and then the race was over. So, I mean, I think that's what happens sometimes. You know, race incident, but yeah, it's a new day today, so just trying to do our best and take it from there.
a new day and new conditions as well, because it looks pretty wet, doesn't it? We'll see. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much, Michaela. Good luck to Johan Kristoffersson as well, her teammate. We're going to head into the Acciona Science Garage now, of course. P2 for Acciona Science yesterday. And Fraser McConnell is just here. I'm going to grab him for a quick chat, taking a look at the car, which looks pristine ahead of a second day of racing here. P2 yesterday. How would you reflect on that final overnight?
It was very good. Laya did an incredible start. You know, with this new rule in place, the males have to do 50% of the starts as well as the females. So all of the races, you have to pick and choose who's going to start from the day before. And, you know, yesterday we went with the strategy of Laya starting, which meant that she would start the final. And, you know, she did an incredible job. She bossed the start like a pro and, you know, brought the car to me in second. So I just carried it home, tried to chase down the leader, but, you know, the pace was there. We had fastest lap in the final. So we're going to go today with a clear head, clear mindset, and ready to win.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Fraz. Well done for yesterday, and good luck today as well. Okay, our second race of the morning then is coming up. This is qualifying 1, race number 2.
Heat 2 time here in Scotland. It is very wet out there on the track after heavy rain overnight. And I think it's livened things up. There's also a spring at the top of the hill, Jenny, which some of the drivers mentioned yesterday means that bit of the track will never dry. And it certainly didn't dry yesterday, but I don't think there's any danger of drying right now. More beautiful Scottish wildlife for you guys to take a look at.
Is that another osprey?
I don't know. Do you remember last year there were nesting ospreys up on one of the cliffs, and they managed to make a bit of space for it. But we're heading down to the command centre for a very special interview because it's Matthias Ekström. Matthias, happy birthday to you.
Oh no, no one needs that.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah, happy birthday, dear Matthias.
Happy
birthday to you.
Thank you very much. It was beautiful. Your singing is amazing.
How old are you, mate? 21 again today, I guess, and you're hoping to celebrate with a race victory, I'm sure. It looks slippery out there, even for a birthday.
Yeah, it's nice to celebrate your birthday, and I don't know about you, but I start to feel younger and younger year by year, so yeah, let's hope we can have a good party tonight and have a clean day and enjoy it.
I'm interested. If it's my birthday, I'd have cake before I was getting going for the day, breakfast time. Have you had any cake? What is your pre-race diet?
No cake. I actually have to start getting ready. I think the start is soon. Make sure you don't miss the start. I have to dress up as well, so we take the cake later.
Okay.
I think Matthias wants to go, so he wants to go and get it. So, mate, the best of luck. It's slippery out there. Looking forward to seeing you and Christina put on a good show. Go and send it, mate. So, yeah, Matthias, the reason he wants to get ready is actually the command centre is at the top of the hill. Obviously, they've then got a little walk out to the switch zone, and the first couple of laps only take less than 5 minutes. I think it's about 2.5k per lap. Getting ourselves ready to go. Q1 race 2 coming up.
Attention all teams. Stand by for the start of Hydro X-Prix. Qualifying round 1, Heat 2 is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Here we go then. Race 2 coming up. You can see Ekström over on the left. That's his head and neck safety device he's putting on there. There's a number of different ones of those available. That one's quite preferred by the drivers now. You can see from Andretti, there's Timmy Hansen. He's wearing the original Hansen device. They get those clipped on. There's quite a lot for a driver to do. You want to put your comms in, put your balaclavas on, get your helmets on, gloves as well if your hands are hot and sweaty. That's why they want to get themselves prepped, because they don't want to be rushing when they get in the car. 45 seconds for that crucial switch. All the females are starting, all the males are in the command centre. Fraser mentioned it a minute ago, there's a rule this year that they have to split the start. So really interesting strategy from who is in the car on the grid and who's up in the command centre each of these races.
Let's take it from right to left. So right is Laya Sands for Acciona Science in that red car. In the middle, you've got RXR in the black and green. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski at the wheel. Katie Munnings for Andretti Ultequila. And then on the far left, you've got Christina Gutierrez, teammate of Matthias Ekström in that papaya McLaren. Lining up for the start. It's a green light, lots of wheel spin, good start from Sands over on the side. She'll try and get the whole shot. You can see the battle is real. McLaren take the lead at this point. Sainz is really challenging. She wants to slip it through on the inside of turn 2. Is there room for her to do that? Let's see the acceleration up the hill. No, she can't do it. It's the Neon McLaren that's out in front, and Cristina Gutierrez again doing so well off the start line, and Laia Sanz nowhere to go, nowhere to challenge.
I'll tell you what, RXR struggled massively off the line there. They had a tank slapper from the second they got off the line. And interestingly, they're the one team that didn't use the extra power. I'm always Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski has her Renault hyperdrive left. She slides up the inside of Katie Munnings. It's a nice pass. Tiny bit of contact. Now, the difference in slippery conditions is a tiny bit of contact will result in a lot more movement from the other car. Katie comes across to the inside, down flag there, so that's one of the front 2 cars. I didn't see who clipped that flag. We'll wait for race control to get across it. But yeah, Arlen Kolinski's got the hyperdrive. I don't know where you use it, Jenny. There's not many places I would want the extra power. Everybody tried off the start, and it gave no noticeable advantage to anyone.
Katie Munnings really struggling for visibility in that Andretti car at the back. And her wipers, I don't know how much juice she's got in there, how much water she's got to spray on it, but you can see that number 27 car, Katie Munnings, really struggling behind the RXR car of Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski.
So look how early they are on the brakes after that jump. Yesterday we noticed that the jump is kind of in the braking zone, the one that comes out of the Continental traction change. So you're in the air, you don't want to overshoot the corner. That's even more so now. When you jump on the brakes in wet conditions, it's not quite the same. We had a problem, spin for Gutierrez. Gutierrez has spun the Neon McLaren at the start, and she was leading the pack. She dropped back to P3, same place that Timo Scheider made a mistake earlier. So one little mistake, off track, back round, she's down to 3rd.
We didn't see what happened. Hopefully we'll get a replay of exactly what happened, but that is a disastrous turn of events for Cristina Gutierrez. She's back down to 3rd, but she's got that car set up well. It looks like that McLaren's performing, so can she claw that back? She's currently 2.4 seconds away from the lead, so it's really close out front.
It was them that dropped the flag. It's just popped up on the timing screen. I'm sure we'll get a look at that later. So they've had 2 mistakes now on the first lap, but it's looking tough for them to make it through. Arlen Kotlinski, look, uses the Inoa hyperdrive up the hill. That's kind of where we thought that it might go down. The gap was 1.25. It's gone up to 1.4. So Laia Sanz doing well, holding her off. There are the crew for Neon McLaren.
Oh, Gary Pavitt, hello, good morning. Nice to see a former racer taking control of the team, and you can see Cristina Gutierrez just applying that handbrake.
He's on the radio too, so he's on the radio, I reckon, to Gutierrez, or potentially to... Gutierrez has got terrible visibility. The screen's absolutely plastered in mud, and the wipers have only just got going, so she will be struggling a bit to see. He could be on the radio to Ekstrom, who would be in the switch zone, to say, look for this section, look for that section. They'll be looking all the while at where the grip is and where the opportunities are.
Yeah, the car's really closed up for that moment, and then they've elongated itself. Look at that. It's just so hard, the conditions. And how much driving do you do on mud? How experienced will these drivers be at dealing with these conditions?
Depends where they've come from. I mean, most of them, with the background they've got in rally and rallycross, will have spent some time on it as a surface. This is kind of, you know, some of our track here is unprepared, which is what Extreme is all about. You know, we go to venues and race on different surfaces. So look at this, look how slippery it is there. Laia trying to turn in, nip on the handbrake to get the rotation, then she's waiting and feeling with the steering back onto the gravel, and you're back onto the throttle and away. So they're really having to feel their way through it. But yeah, Jenny, this will be challenging even for those who've had time on that kind of surface.
I mean, Laia Sanz is the perfect person that you'd want out front. Look at the close that up. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski's really closed in on Laia Sanz, but she's got so much experience. Desert, mostly on 2 wheels, but maybe that's helping her actually, because that 2-wheel traction and this...
Well, don't forget she's done all the trials as well. So look for the flag in the lead here for McLaren. There it is, down on the inside. And that is a race control decision of a 10-second penalty. So they had the spin, and they've now got a 10-second penalty. It's going to drop them to the back of the pack. There it is on board. Look at that on the handbrake. So she's gone on the handbrake because she knows she's lost it. She's actually avoided the flag, which is a good thing. Spins the car back round, but by now obviously lost 2 positions as well. Here it is.
So this is it from the air, the drone capturing that perfectly, and yeah, just going off track. Unfortunate for her.
Same place as Scheider.
Yeah, it's
So,
obviously a tricky bit of
really,
the track, and everyone will
definitely.
learn that as they go along.
Downhill and very greasy.
This is the first time they've taken it on this track this morning. They did the same thing yesterday, but obviously conditions were very different. Laia Sands has handed over first out of the gates for Fraser McConnell.
And look at Kristoffersson, he could not be closer behind. This will be a fantastic race. Timmy Hansen gets released and slots in behind. Ekstrom is in the car as well, so these are some of the giants of rallycross in terms of history, but also at the moment off-road motorsport. These are big names from the various different series, and I'm looking forward to this, Jenny.
And lots of grab matches. You've got the birthday boy out there in the third car. That's the Papaya Neon McLaren that's out there, and they will be looking to try and get this back. Matthias Ekstrom versus Timmy Hansen at the back, Johan Kristoffersson and Fraser McConnell.
Kristoffersson's lined up alongside, look, because he wants to release the throttle immediately. He'll try and see if he can get any kind of advantage. He goes to the right-hand side, look at that. McConnell's gone to the inside line, so Johan's gone for a different traction, if you like, down the outside of the track. Hasn't gained him any time on McConnell this time. Fraser McConnell has actually, we joked yesterday about the whole Scottish heritage thing. He's got family members at the event with him, his mum and dad there, Peter and Stephanie, and a bunch of blood relatives who are from and live in Scotland. So absolutely brilliant for the Jamaicans to have some home support so far from home.
Yeah, absolutely. They've used their Renault Hyperdrive as well off the restart from the switch zone. Everyone's used it apart from the Neon McLaren. They've still got theirs in supply, so we'll have to look where Ekstrom is going to use that. Someone's just hit a flag. We don't know who it is. Sainz, so out front. Axiona Sainz and Fraser McConnell's taken down a flag, so that might be another penalty for them. We'll have to wait for race control.
So remember, this is so tricky, isn't it? Because at the moment, with the times the way they are, there's just about 10 covering the 4 cars. So Ekstrom would drop behind Hansen with their penalty. If the Sainz squad gets a penalty as well, they might drop behind. So this might elevate Andretti Autokili up into P2.
Here's a replay.
Yeah.
So you can see Fraser McConnell just going straight over that. That will be and you see is under investigation for a dropped flag at waypoint 8, lap 3. So Fraser McConnell could have a penalty coming their way. The command centre, they will be telling them that. They will be in communication with those cars. And as you can see, it flashes up on your screen right now. So can Johan Kristoffersson, against all odds, get the win? It started so badly for RXR, but yet again, they look to come through.
There's a big hole on the inside of this corner where everyone's hugging the flag. Not a problem for the drivers, but they'll be aware of it. It's Johan's squad. If I were RXR, it's him that I would particularly be on the radio to going, listen, both cars in front and behind you have got potential penalties, because what they can do now is avoid any unnecessary contact. He can follow Fraser to the line and he'll take the win. Now, if he could pass him, he would, but in these slippery conditions, you maybe won't. Look at sideways. Hansen's going at the back there. You're looking at Ekstrom in the middle of your screen. The Andretti Autokili just stepped out of line. There's the hyperdrive, you know, a hyperdrive up the hill. That's tricky with that flag, because I think that was already out of the holder, but that might be a second one the way we're going. I think it was down.
Ekstrom wants the move on Johan Kristoffersson. He's just gone to the inside. It didn't work out, and now he's getting taken by Hansen, who's spied that and gone up the inside. Down waypoint flag again. Oh no, this is causing a lot of problems.
Isn't it?
Look at the visibility. It's so hard out there. It's not surprising that they are taking down waypoint flags. 10-second time penalty for car number 55. That's the car out in front. Fraser McConnell. At the moment, he's only got a 3.8-second gap to second place, Johan Kristoffersson. So this penalty will take the lead away from them.
It's somewhat comedic, isn't it, in that all 3 of them, I think they're going to hold position now wherever, other than RXR moving to the top. It should then finish Axiona Sainz, Neil McLaren and Andretti, because I anticipate Andretti will get a penalty. They will argue that they were nudged into that flag by Ekstrom in the McLaren, but I don't think they'll get it. I think they'll be given the penalty.
We had slightly similar yesterday, didn't we, where they were nudged a little bit.
He was inside, wasn't he? I think if you're outside, you get nudged wide, but when you're inside, tricky. Fraser McConnell on the handbrake through the left-hander. Going to drop the Axiona Sainz machine down the hill, but he will know himself that he's clipped that flag. He wanted a 10-second gap. If he can get 10 over Ekstrom at the back, he might actually hold on to P3. But McConnell takes the flag here in Scotland, but they're going to get a penalty as well. RXR coming over the line, 5.7 back. It should be a win for Kristoffersson, Arlen Kotlinski. Ekstrom is at the back here. How much was the gap? It was only 6.1. It ends up being, looks like 16.3, but I don't know whether that's with penalties or not. We're going to have to wait and see. So I think RXR will take it. But I say we'll wait until all the penalties are in. You can see at the bottom of your screen, RXR showing 9.52, and it's showing plus 4.29 for Acciona Science. Although they're at the top of the screen, I think they'll be
They
P2.
haven't got the penalties applied yet.
Yeah, they haven't, you're right. And I think Munnings and Hansen will still be under investigation, so they haven't had their penalty applied yet.
Wowee.
Slippery. Really, the best drivers in the world struggling with the grip levels. That tells you how slippery it is out there.
Yeah, unfortunate for people to go out there and be on the best that they can and still getting those waypoint flags knocked down. I mean, yeah, we can't say it enough. It rained very heavily overnight. We've got sunshine and blue skies today, but that wasn't the conditions overnight, and you can just see the mud just waiting there, saying, come to me, I want to stick all over your car and make visibility almost impossible.
Confirmation of the penalty there for Acciona Science. This is their one, so Fraz just got a bit too much rotation in the corner. You're desperate to get it turned in, so you try to get the rotation on the car. Now this one, I think that flag's already out of its holder. We're pretty sure that's not going to be a down flag, but Neil McLaren have already got one from earlier on. They are under investigation for waypoint 5. There's the one where Timmy was up the inside of Ekstrom. Ekstrom turned in and Timmy ended up clattering the flag as well. That's waypoint 9. That's still under investigation. So McLaren could get a second one, but oof.
Let's go down to the command centre. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski is there for us. Michaela, I mean, the conditions, we've said it so many times, it's so muddy. I don't know how you can see anything in those cars.
No, I mean, it was really muddy out there, and I think, you know, we were discussing before, just try to keep vision clear as much as possible, and, you know, keep lines and so on. So yeah, we did as planned, but it's muddy out there and it's tough to see, so yeah.
Just looking at a replay of your start, it looked like there was no traction and you were sliding all over the place. Just talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, we watched the start from the same position in Heat 1, and we saw that it was so slippery, but I have to say it was even more slippery when I got there, so I just tried from there on to don't make any try to not make any mistakes and just keep it clean, and yeah, it gave us a good position in the switch, and then with a penalty, a win for Heat 1, so that's definitely a good start for the day.
Yeah, it's worked out well, hasn't it? I saw you guys save your Renault Hyperdrive for later in the lap. Is there a big gain up that hill? It's really hard for us to tell, to be honest. It's so slippery as well. There can't be many places you can deploy it usefully.
Well, when it was so slippery, like you say now, it was, of course, an advantage up the hill for sure, but not as much as when it's a bit drier. So yeah, like I said, we sort of start from Heat 1 and decided, probably not using that hyper in that muddy start.
And in terms of, I mean, obviously, it's a lovely to get a win in right at the start. Everybody else had downed flags, I think, in your race. How's the weather? Do you think the conditions are going to improve or not? Because with the spring at the top of the hill as well, I mean, I think it's going to stay wet for most of the day, isn't it?
Feels like it. I mean, we did see, though, on Friday on the free practice, when it was sunny, that it did dry up quite quickly when it was hot. But, I mean, we didn't have anything like this in the free practice. So, yeah, let's see. We just work from what we have, drive from what we have, and try to do our best.
Michaela, I'm just fascinated to know what it feels like when you're behind the wheel. Is it similar to anything you've ever experienced when you're out there in so much mud?
I'd say it's like during the winter, if you have ice driving and it's really slushy on the ice, something like that.
Oh, crikey. It makes it hard work.
Worse vision. The vision is better than on the slushy ice than here.
Okay, there we go. That gives you an idea. So yes, slushy ice is about the grip levels they've got. Michaela, thank you very much. Well done to you and Johan. Best of luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
So we go, Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski giving you a good idea of what it's like. So it's very, very slippery indeed. Fantastic stuff from our first two qualifying races. Fair bit of action, no big crashes. Looking forward to the rest of the day. That was that start, Jenny, that you asked her about. I mean, she was wildly sideways. Really interesting what she said about keeping the visibility. So look here, she's offline. Do you remember when Johan came out the switch? I think that line was nothing to do with traction. I think he didn't want the screen plastered by Fraser McConnell 2-3 feet in front of him off that grid start. As soon as you lose the visibility, you can't do anything. So just another sign of how the likes of Kristoffersen operate at that level where they go, I'm going to move across here and stay out. This was the pass by Alan Kotlinski on Munnings. Yeah, it's a fair pass. It looks worse than it is because it's slippery and it's off camber in that corner.
Yeah, I thought she might get the traction to just launch another attack, but then she went down the inside, so it wasn't to be, unfortunately for them.
This is Gutierrez. Look, she's on the handbrake, and unfortunately she's still got a bit of opposite lock on from the previous corner, so the wheels aren't facing in the direction she wants them to be facing to get it turned in. She would have ideally come off the brake, gone back on it, turned the car in and then pulled the handbrake, but you know, that's very easy for us to say. These conditions are so marginal that you'll be like, oh, that's perfect. Next that, you hear that horrible locked wheel noise and the car just goes straight on.
I've never heard you do a locked wheel noise. I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's not the great. Sometimes it's just, that's even worse, Jen.
No, I can totally understand that. So into the switch zone. All of the female drivers handing over to the male drivers. So much talent in this field, and you can just see Johan Kristoffersen right up the back of Fraser McConnell and using that time just to get his systems ready, think about what it's going to do.
It's funny, isn't it, seeing them all dart out the switch in slow motion, 30 kilometres an hour, but yeah, just getting there. Here's Fraz. I feel for him, as I do the others, to be honest, because I don't think anybody willfully took a flag down. You know, they were all just tiny margins of difference, and when you're looking to try and take tenths of a second off some of the best drivers in the world, you've got to take those risks. You've got to try and turn the car, and you've got to try and get near the flag, and then unfortunately when the car does rotate just that little bit more than you thought it would, you end up clipping a flag.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the race control to see which penalties have dropped and which are still being investigated. So car 27, that's Andretti, 10-second time penalty. Car number 58, 10-second car penalty.
That's interesting, because I think they've given McLaren a second one.
Well, that might be for the waypoint flag that was already down. Well, we'll keep across them. We'll bring you all of the updates as we go through. Remember, loads more racing to come.
They have. I'm really surprised about that, because I think they'll appeal that. It won't make any difference, actually. So no, they would. It would give them one more position.
Yeah.
I think they'll appeal that, because I think that flag was out of its holder, Jen. You can see the holder up on the top. But either way, very, very tricky conditions. And as we've already said, if these guys and girls are struggling with it, you can rest assured it is slippery.
So let's have a look at all the penalties. I think Andretti clocked one. You can see there it's beautiful surroundings, but that water and the lush scenery, that's what leads us to having loads of rain and loads of problems on this course and another tricky session. So this race control decision. Car 27, that's Andretti, get a 10-second time penalty for dropped waypoint flag 9 here.
Tricky stuff, isn't it? So we're going to head down and have a catch-up with Laura Winter. She's in the Explorer Lounge, which is where me and Jenny would very much like to be. The Explorer Lounge is a lovely big tent on site. You were actually there last year, Jenny.
Yeah, they have lovely campfires with marshmallows, and my daughter absolutely loved putting it into the fire.
Oh, yeah, I can have a marshmallow. That would be good. Maybe Laura Winter's having one right now. Let's head down to the Explorer Lounge and find out.
We're here in the Extreme E Explorer Lounge. This is where the very great and the good of this championship like to hang out. We've got VIPs, invited guests, our partners, drivers pop in here to chill out between sessions, and scientists also come in to give talks about that extended legacy program that we see in Extreme E. Actually, Vodafone Business are here as well. They've got their own setup. I'm just going to rudely interrupt Ruben here, technology lead for Vodafone Business. Talk me through the technology, brilliant technology that Vodafone Business are using in the Scotland Legacy Programme.
Yes, so we have a number of different tech that we're putting in here. We have an IoT, Internet of Things connected water buoy, which measures water quality, and also temperature tags to measure ambient and in-water temperature that help understand what's happening in the climate and hopefully tackle the challenges which Jim and the team have around salmon conservation.
Amazing stuff. Thank you very much, Ruben. And look, Vodafone Business do so much as well through race operations and, of course, in those legacy programs as well. And they are all overseen, produced, and the future very much looked to by our scientific committee. And I'm going to, once again, rudely interrupt Lucy Woodall here. Hello, Lucy. We're looking ahead, if I may interrupt, to Sardinia. And it's a blue and a green legacy there, isn't it? Talk us through some of the issues Sardinia face and what we're doing to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So the blue carbon is really thinking about how do we try and pull carbon dioxide out of our environment and then keep it into the ocean. So a way that carbon comes back out of the sediment is for any trawling, right? You can imagine that sediment gets resuspended. So the project in Sardinia this year is around trying to reduce trawling. So there's an area there by the harbour that is being declared a protected area, but it's really hard to get compliance at the moment. So part of the project is to put blocks of rock in to stop boats from coming in, but also being able to engage with those fishes and explaining this is a protected area. This is really important. It's going to allow for seagrass that's incredibly important as a habitat and as a carbon store to regenerate in that area. That'll be better for fisheries in the area in the future, but it'll also be better for our planet.
Brilliant stuff. Lucy, thank you. The work that the XE Science Committee are doing in Sardinia, here in Scotland as well, it is exemplary. Thank you very much indeed to you. Well, this is the Explorer Lounge. Look, and as I mentioned, it's where people like to hang out. You've got some McLaren team members just here, people able to watch the racing, and a few people grabbing a drink as well. It's all happening in here ahead of the racing coming up soon.
Great stuff from Laura down in the Vodafone Business Command Centre. You guys can have a bit of an influence on who ends up on pole later on today. So this is how grid play works. In the build-up to the final in each Hydro X-Prix, fans can show their support and vote for their favourite teams and drivers through grid play. The voting takes place via the Hydro website. The team that collects the most votes gets first pick on their grid position in the grand final and will have the opportunity to massively influence the start of the race. But there is a twist. The teams that do not reach the grand final can donate their votes to any other team. With a strong start being key to a good X-Prix result in Extreme, grid play could make or break a team's chances of success. Which team will emerge as firm fan favourites? Take a look at the results at the end of Q1, our first qualifying session for round 4 of Extreme 2024. That's a bit different than what we were expecting, so we'll have another crack at that, shall we? It's fine. Beautiful backdrops in Scotland, some great racing so far today already as well. And looking forward to Q2 later on today. You'll be able to see that, of course, with the final and the redemption race in this afternoon's show. Laura's had a chat with Fraser McConnell just recently.
Our conditions look unbelievably tough out there. Fraz, a down flag for you. Can you try and sum up what it's like in the driver's seat?
Oh no, it's super tricky out there, and you know, the track is rough as it is already, then you add some water. So just the car got a bit out of shape with a rut and you know, lost all the rotation that I had. So pushed me into the flag, unfortunately, and no one else to blame but myself, so I'm a bit frustrated. But you know, Laya did such an incredible job to get the car into the switch in first. Carried it over the line in first, but you know, the penalty put us back. It's clear there's other people having some issues with flags as well, so hoping the stewards stick to their principle.
All right, well, hard luck, best of luck for qualifying too. Thanks, Fraz.
Thanks.
So Fraser very disappointed. I understand that. It's super stupid. He's saying, look, I hope the stewards stick to it because he wants all the others to get their penalties and that'll elevate them back up, which I get it. You know, they finished first. If everybody else gets their penalties, they should end up heading up into P2, which would be a good result considering the problem we had.
Just to let you into the insight, we have a timing screen in front of us and it's time-stamped for each penalty that is received from a team. And I can't tell you how many investigations, drop waypoint flags.
It's scrolling fast.
It's very fast.
It's scrolling fast. So the Extreme H car is out on track now. That is Hydro X-Prix. It's in the Red Bull livery, which they've become an official partner of the series. And Hydro has done a bunch of the testing. I was very lucky to be down in France when she was testing it with Romain Damas as well. Some really very different noises in the paddock from the hydrogen machines that are charging the cars up. Sounds like something out of Star Wars. And then obviously fuel cell on board, 50 litres of hydrogen, which helps to charge the smaller battery, but everything in that car is revised. Better suspension, better driver position, safer safety cell. We've seen some big old crashes, but lovely to see it. This is the first time actually this weekend that this car has been used on a proper Extreme E course, the sort of terrain that it will be used on next year in Anger.
And it's sort of apt, isn't it, that it gets its first spin out of the Hydro X-Prix.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know all about the science. You've taught us. There's a lovely feature which you can see on the Extreme Odyssey programme. So you can have a look at that. And we'll just take a break and have a look at the qualifying Heat 1 to Heat 2 results, which is in 4th place. Ekstrom didn't get the birthday present he wanted. Then Andretti in 3rd. Acciona Science in 2nd place. These are with all the penalties we believe added on. And RXR somehow do it again and get 1st place. A good start to the day for them.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from them. There's a couple of teams that have, well, 3 teams that have been in all the finals. They are Rosberg X Racing, Acciona Science and Eon Veloce. So good job by RXR in this last one to make sure they're there. I think Fraser McConnell and Elias Sands will be pleased that with that penalty even, they are right up there. It's been a brilliant morning. As I say, you'll be able to see the rest of the qualifying action in this afternoon's show, so do make sure you join us for the remainder of round 4. Header Hozos continues to show you what the future of this sport looks like. Will be Extreme E right through to the end of this year, and then Extreme H from 2025. Thank you for joining us this morning. Great fun. Who's going to win today? Who's your money on? Let us know on social media. We'll be back this afternoon from Laura Winter, Jenny Gowan, Andrew Coley. Thank you. See you soon.
Drive.